righteousness, courage, compassion, respect, truthfulness, honor, loyalty, and self-control. Remember, you cannot control the actions and conduct of others, only yourself. Have you ever experienced anything paranormal? Have you ever seen a ghost? Have you ever witnessed a UFO? Have you ever seen Bigfoot or any other cryptids? Well, if so, or if you just want to hear people talk about it, this is the place for you. Welcome to OG San's Paranormal Talk. I'm going to have various guests on here. We're going to talk about all the weird and sometimes wonderful paranormal activity that they have experienced. If you have a paranormal story that you would like to share and be part of the show, contact me at my email. You can find that on the homepage of my YouTube channel. Without any further ado, let's get started. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the debut of Paranormal Talk here on OG San's World. We're going to have a lot of fun here. We're going to talk about paranormal stuff, and the deal is we're going to have fun. Some of us do believe in things, and nobody is going to disrespect anybody on this channel about that stuff. You believe what you believe, and you saw what you saw. Now, I will have some little lighthearted commercials and stuff I made. I mean, no disrespect to anybody with those, but I felt like it was a fun little thing to make, and I hope you take it in a fun spirit. And welcome everybody that showed up. B Lady, thank you very much for sharing this out. Melissa Spencer, thank you for being here. Now, I won't be doing any artwork, and this is what I'm going to look like for this show. It's just going to be old OG Bod's face with me talking. Now, the first story I wanted to get into on this is what happened to me back in 2016. And that's why I've got some of my guests up here, because we'll get into that here in a minute. So back in the summer of 2016, and I do have this video posted. If you go back, and it's the same black triangle video, but I wanted to start with this one because this is really the only true paranormal thing that's ever happened to me. So I'm standing in my yard. I'm walking from my house to my mother's house, which is just right across the yard. And as I'm coming back, I look up in the sky, and there's a giant black triangle, and it is silently flying over my house. And this thing was big. It took up the whole sky. But the thing is, it made no noise at all. Now, my wife, Marcia Dale, loves anything to do with UFOs. As a matter of fact, I took her to Roswell just on a whim because she always wanted to go. But so I ran in the house to try to get Marcia Dale. But by the time I got her outside, it was gone. And so I, at the time, was the only person that saw it. And then my son in law and my daughter showed up at my house. And he had a tale to tell me. And believe it or not, he was telling me about that same black triangle that I saw. So, without any further ado, I'm going to bring up my first guest. It says B Nux. That is my daughter, Brittany, and her husband, Michael. You may also know him as the Clickbait Magician. If you haven't checked his channel out yet, check it out. He killed those death nuts today. But tonight, we're here about the paranormal. So, welcome to the show, Michael and Brittany.
Hey.
So, Michael, tell me all about that night. Tell me how you remember the whole thing.
Well, I remember we were headed towards my sister's house. I can't remember exactly what time it was. It was pretty late though.
Yeah, it was like almost dark. Like it was pretty dark outside, but like you could still kind of see light in the sky.
And I remember there were 3 lights. There's a mountain here called Manitou, and I don't really know how you spell that, but I mean, and whenever I say mountain, it's not very tall. But anyways, I remember we saw these 3 lights, and they were kind of out of place, and me and Brittany just kind of joked at each other like, "Oh, this might be aliens," you know? Because I've always been a skeptic, and
like between the lights, it was just like dark.
It was very dark. It was like a void, and it just kind of. I remember stopping and looking at it and saying, "Wait, that is really weird looking."
Yeah.
And it just kind of like disappeared behind the mountain there, and me and Brittany kind of brushed it off.
Yeah, we're just kind of like we joked about like all night, and we're just like, oh, we finally saw a UFO, la la la. We just are like joking and not really taking it really that serious. And
then I guess it was that morning.
It was the next day.
It was sometime
we had stayed the night at your sister's house.
Yeah, we stayed the night at my sister's house, and then we went back over to Jimmy's. And I remember saying something about, "Do you believe in UFOs?" or something like that. And I remember him saying, "Yeah." And then we told him about the triangle, and he was like, "Well," and then he told us about the triangle.
I remember that well, yeah.
And I was like,
well, I guess we really did see a UFO.
I'm not saying it was aliens, but whatever it was weird.
Yeah, that was the weirdest part about it is I had not talked to y'all, and you guys had not talked to me about it until it happened, and that's what kind of made it feel a whole lot like I don't know. It's hard to describe what I saw other than a big silent black triangle.
Right.
I know. Yeah, a lot of folks, have told me what it is. I've got a lot of response on that video when I posted it. They explained to me what they believed it was, and the weird thing is, you would not believe how many people have seen that exact same thing and describe it exactly the way we described it.
It was weird. Like I think we were just so shocked that we saw it that all we could do was joke about it because we were like, "Was that real?" Like we both saw it, but we were just like, "This can't be real."
Because I figured it would be helicopters or something, because it was kind of stationary, and then it just started whoop.
Yeah,
away.
It just like went behind the mountains.
And it went behind the hills and
never saw it again.
Yeah, I've been looking for it ever since because I really want to get Marcia Dale out there to see that thing because she was pretty upset that she didn't get to see that UFO that night. It did feel like a once in a lifetime deal because I mean, when it came over the house here, I mean, it was low and it filled up the whole sky. So whatever that was, it was huge and it was silent.
Yeah. And we didn't. I mean, our like view of it was across the city. We were probably what, like
a couple of miles away.
2-3 miles from it.
Yeah, it was pretty big.
Presumably,
yeah,
2 or 3 miles. And I mean, we could tell that it was far away because it, like I said, went behind the mountain.
Yeah, we have a lot of military flights over this area. They come right down this valley. Little Rock Air Force Base flies C-130s for their weather squadron through here quite a bit. But I can tell you, I know what a C-130 looks like, and I know what they sound like, and they are loud. And that thing made no noise at all.
Is the C-130? That's the stealth bomber, right?
No, that's the big old nasty propeller planes. You know, they're kind of like a cargo plane, but they got the propellers on them. Brittany,
Right.
remember when I flew with the Blue Angels, and that big jet or that big plane that me and your mom rode in, that was the C-130.
Oh, okay, yeah. Those things are loud.
Yeah, the difference is that one had rockets on the back of it.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was quite the ride. So what I saw go over the house was nothing like that at all. I mean, it was just a straight triangle, and I didn't see the lights on it. You guys said you saw 3 lights.
Yeah, there was
3.
Yeah.
It was just a straight black triangle on what I saw. Yeah.
The lights are like very dim. Like they weren't.
Yeah, they're pretty faint because I almost thought they were stars at first.
Yeah.
But it was the darkness
in between
that was kind of threw us off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, when I looked up, and I can't even really tell you what caught my attention. Maybe it was just the stars being blacked out as it went over. But because I would not have noticed it, you know, had I not looked up, because there was nothing to hear or anything, and I just happened to look up, and there it was. Right. Something I'll never forget for sure.
I know.
I've definitely been keeping my eyes up more since that's happened.
Like Michael's never really experienced like UFOs or like ghosts or like Bigfoot or like nothing like that.
Yeah, I've always been into it, but never experienced it until
that
recently.
Day. Yeah,
like after that day, well, then that's when.
Well, yeah, I spent many years in the Air Force, and you know, I've seen all kinds of aircraft and been out there on guard duty with the stealth fighters and stuff, and you know, so I've been around. I've seen quite a bit, but I had never seen anything like that, and you know, it really took me back. And I guess the coolest part is when you guys showed up and kind of had the same tale to tell that I did. So
yeah.
So we spend many nights sitting out here just looking up at the stars, and it's just amazing what you see, and it makes you think about how much we miss, you know, because if you just sit out and look up at the stars at night, and you really just sit there for a while and let your eyes adjust, you start seeing all kinds of stuff up there. So.
Right, especially when you like live out in the middle of nowhere with no lights. It's crazy what you can see.
Yeah, like I said, when we drove out to Roswell, just being out in the middle of the desert, the Milky Way just comes alive in a way that you don't really get in other places. So, All right, I got a couple more guests that's going to come up here, and we're just going to kind of shoot the crap for a little bit and talk about what we want to do with this channel. I hope everybody enjoyed the stream. But first, we got to take a little station identification here. And this is one of them stupid commercials I told you I made. And for anybody listening, take this in a lighthearted sense, because that's how it's meant. OG Bot's got some products to sell here, so let's see what he's got.
Oh man, not again.
Are you tired of being abducted and then probed by those pesky aliens? Well, try Dr. Ojibot's steel-belted lock-fit underwear. The convenient steel band goes around your waist. It locks in place. Simply leave the key at home, and those pesky aliens can't bother you anymore. That's right. You can put an end to the constant probing. Just remember to use the restroom before you go, and you'll be set. That's right. Dr. Ojibot's steel belted, steel banded, lock in place underwear. Guaranteed to stop the probing. Yeah. Oh man, let's get out of here.
Thanks, Dr. Ojibot. I love 'em.
Dr. Ojibot's steel belted lock bed underwear only sold at Kmart, not intended for hot challenges.
All right, so I got these Ramsey boys down here hanging out in my basement. And we've kind of been tossing around the idea of doing a lot more paranormal stuff. So that's why we're here tonight. We want to kind of break into this paranormal activity stuff.
Yep.
And even though I did straight up see a UFO, that doesn't mean that I think it was aliens, which, you know, I'm not here to debate that. I'm definitely not wise enough to tell you if it was or wasn't. Very well could have been probably some kind of secret aircraft, I imagine, you know, but it is what it is, right? Now,
So,
Jason, was it? Go ahead.
so what do you think, Kevin? You got a paranormal, like ghost or alien type
Story?
something? Or you
I've got an open mind. That's what I've got.
Yeah.
okay.
So Kevin's kind of like me. Kevin and I are kind of the skeptical ones. As for, you know, I believe I did see something, but, you know, what it was is I'm not ready to pin down on paranormal stuff.
I guess I'll tell you guys my story. So I was in the Army for about 14 years. Deployed. My first year was a year long. Come back for less than a year, and then I went back for 15 months. So I come back home. I was married, right? And I didn't have to work. You don't have to work as soon as you come back home, like from deployment, because you're trying to readjust, right? So I'd get up. My wife at the time, she was in the Army, and so I'd get up every day. I'd kiss her goodbye, be like, hey, you know, have fun at work, and then I'd go away on the couch. And I'd turn on the TV and I'd watch the news and then I'd fall asleep. Well, for some reason, like, I always slept one way on the couch and my head was towards the door. But one day I was like, I slept my head towards the hallway and so I fell asleep. I was watching the news. I fell asleep, and anyways, I woke up to the door opening, and then I was like, "Oh hell!" My wife come back home, and you know, I felt like she was crawling up on top of me. And I was like, "All right, cool. You know, I'm gonna get some, right?" And then I could feel the pressure, like on the couch, like pushing down on me, like, oh, she's coming up towards my head. Halfway up, I was like, oh shit, that's not my wife, right? So it got up to my head and I couldn't open my eyes. But then I did, and I was like, oh, what the fuck? And I heard like the most horrible sound, like you can't describe it. Like it was just it was kind of like eating the tuba terror death nuts. It's like it was horrible. It's like bam. Well, I'm not like I love horror movies. I love scary shit. I love all that. Right. So but that scared the shit out of me, and it was the middle of winter. I jumped up, I looked down the hallway, I turned on all the lights. I was in my underwear, I was in my boxers, and I ran outside and sat on the porch, and I called her because I knew she was already at work. And this is like no joke. If you're in the military, like that's a hard thing to do, like to tell people to come home. But I was like, no, you need to bring your ass home right now because something fucked up happened. Yeah, it was bad. I felt like the demon, if there is such thing as demons or whatever, I felt like that hit me. That hit me bad. And after that, I could not sleep for days. I even had preachers come and talk to me, and they were like, "Oh, there's such thing as demon warfare and all this shit." And I was like, "Oh my god," scared the hell out of me. But yeah, that's my story. It was rough.
Yeah, I remember you calling me when all that was happening because remember I was having those bouts of sleep paralysis myself,
Yeah.
and I think that's what they described that as. I never
No,
felt like anybody was on me like that though.
yeah, they call it sleep paralysis. No bullshit. I felt this motherfucker crawl up on
PG
top of me.
13, Jason. PG 13.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I felt
13.
this. I felt whatever it was crawl up on top of me, and I felt its breath on top of me, and I couldn't move. And once I could move, that's when I jumped up. I turned on all the lights, and I was like, "Nope, nope." And like I said, it was wintertime, and I was in my underwear, and I ran outside, and I called her. I was like, "Hey, you need to come home now."
Oh, in the chat, Gypsy and the Vanilla Gorilla said demons are real and they've seen them.
Yeah. No,
Now,
I believe it. Well, the thing about it is, like, I used to mess with that shit because I thought it was funny. I thought it was cool. I messed with Ouija boards and all that stuff. No, it's a bad idea. Don't do that. Like, yeah, I'll go ghost hunting, do whatever, but I will never mess with the Ouija board again, and I
what
will
about
never
like
try to
what about like
conjure.
a spirit box or something like that? Would you be down with one of those?
Yeah, yeah, I'm down with that, but well, the thing with the Ouija board is, see, I got really into it and would poke myself and put blood on the Ouija board, and that was a bad idea. Don't ever do that. Just saying now, don't ever do that. But yeah, whatever that was horrible, and I thought like that's like the worst sound, the worst. You know, I love horror movies. I love all that stuff,
Yeah.
but that was the most like Evil Dead. You know, I love that movie. That was worse than that. I was like, oh my god! And as soon as like it stopped me. It stopped me from breathing like for a couple minutes, and then as soon as I could breathe, I was like, and then I
In the chat,
jumped up.
Melissa Spencer in the chat says my dad had an experience with something for a month a year ago. He ended up in a crazy house for a week because no one believed him except for my husband. And that's
Yeah,
the thing is, Jason, you come on here and talk about this stuff, and like I said, well, that's why we're showing respect to everybody
Yeah.
Nobody's good, and that's the shame of it is people are
No,
afraid to talk because they
no,
get ridiculed for it. So we're
it's,
not here to ridicule anybody. We want to hear these stories because they
yeah,
are
it's
very
real.
real.
It is real. I promise you, it's real. And that's why I've not messed with that. Like, I used to mess around with like trying to conjure shit. And, like I said, I went as far as to cut myself and put blood on a Ouija board. And no, no more. Never again.
In the chat as well, the B lady Elizabeth, she said she used to have sleep paralysis and it scares you. You don't,
Yes.
yeah, I like I said, I went through that for a couple of months. Every time I would fall asleep during the day because I was working nights,
Yeah.
uh, there was times that I woke up like 5 or 6 times in a row. I thought I'd woke up. I had actually took a shower, brushed my teeth, got in the truck, got halfway to work, and realized I'm still asleep in bed. And I
Yeah.
could not move. But I never
Yeah.
had anything sitting on my chest or anything like that.
No, I
I,
swear to God, that was like the scariest. That was I went to war. I've been to war twice. Like I spent over 2 years in war, and that was the scariest time of my life when I come back and that happened to me. Like it scared me so bad. Like I said, I run outside in my underwear and I was like, "Hey, you need to come home right now because this is
Well,
not happening."
one of the reasons I want to do this and have this kind of a stream is not just, not just for the views or anything like that, but I realized when I posted that UFO video how many folks just want to tell their tale.
Yeah,
They just want somebody to listen to them and not ridicule them. Now,
yeah.
Michael, we might as well crack this bottle open. Michael, you've had some recent ghost activity yourself. Was that correct?
I actually had another one the other day working on our house, but I mean, it was pretty simple. It was like the door sounded like it was opening, and I was up in our attic, and I had some music playing on my phone, and then the last track played, and it was silent after that. So I was finishing up pulling up these boards up there, and it was like silent, and I hear the door sound like it latched open,
Yeah.
and I thought maybe it was my mom because she has the key to our house over there. So I was
Yeah.
thinking, oh, maybe it's mom. So I was like, hey, mom, and no answer. And I mean, whenever I holler for my mom, she'll answer. And so I'm like, hey, mom, and I start jumping down because I was freaking out at that point because I thought maybe somebody tried to come in since we're still working on the house to steal copper or something. I wasn't sure. And it sounded like the door latched again. So I ran and I had my crowbar in one hand and my flashlight in the other, Gordon Freeman style.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I run
No,
out there
no.
and
It's
there's
scary.
a security light on our house that's supposed to go off whenever it sees motion. Well, it wasn't off. So whatever or whoever opened the door was pretty slick not to set that off. And I ran around the
No.
house, adrenaline pumping. Not sure what it was.
Well, it's scary, man. Even like what I was talking about this before, like so we used to mess around with this shit a lot, right? So we do like we thought because we liked all that ghost adventure shit and we would watch the videos and we went back in what was Caden's room back in the day and we'd ask questions on my phone, right? And we'd record them and then we played it back and one said yeah, and that was my ex-wife at the time and I was like what the hell. That's no good. Like that's not fun.
Yeah, I'm not the type of guy that will ever sit here and tell you I have all the answers for this because I don't. But I think it's important to let people tell their stories and let them have that honesty come out and give them the respect enough to let them tell their story. So, yeah, because sometimes you feel isolated because nobody believes you, and that's that's not right.
And that's what the thing was like. Once I told my story, like there was people that believed me, and they come down when I went to my unit, and there was. Well, I told someone I didn't really like her at the time, but she was like, "Well, I feel you," and she was like, "She's like, I'm gonna bring a couple people down," and they prayed for me, which I'm not religious, but it kind of felt good. I was like, "Oh shit, yeah," because
And
it was bad. It was bad.
Sage is definitely a good investment for those of you a little paranoid of the paranormal.
Yeah, but the thing is, all right, I'll tell you this. That happened at that house, right? And then me and Jen bought a house just 2 houses down, right? And we bought this because we was renting this other house. And that's where I was laying on the fucking couch and was like, oh, yep, no good, no bueno. So we went to this other house, and she went off to some school for military, and then I had a friend over, and we both slept out in the living room, and then we had a downstairs, but I kept the door closed, and woke up one morning to scratches. Like it was 3 scratches. I was like, oh God, that's not good. And I woke up and I looked at her, and she woke up and she was like, did you hear that? I was like, yep. So
So
3 scratches is like some devil type stuff, And I was like, no bueno.
yeah. So if we want to go out and start ghost hunting and all that stuff, we'll have to kind of get some stuff together, and we got to pick some locations. But if you are worried about something following you home, I mean, it's something you got to think about if you go out and start playing with this stuff.
Well, no, yeah, of course. And that's what's always happened. I think it's kind of like attracted to me, and I'm not too worried about it anymore. You know what I mean? I think if we're gonna do this, you should be more worried about it, like, because it's rough. It's not easy. Like, it's bad. But I'm down.
Oh, yeah. The thing is just like I said, I'm not going to sit here and tell anybody that I've got any answers or that I am or am not worried about anything, because you don't know until it's there in your face, right? It's not real to you till it's real.
Yep. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, you gotta. It's just like UFOs and all that shit. But the paranormal, like the ghosts, and it's not even the ghosts. Ghosts don't bother me. It's the demons, like, because I know there's demons out there, and that's rough.
Yeah, most people that would be ghosts to me, I'd be glad to see them, tell you the truth. If it's, family members and stuff that I knew.
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell about mine?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Go for it, Mike.
So I've been cleaning out the woods around our house that we're renting for our landlady to just kind of help pay our rent, whatever. So, anyways, I was actually out this window right here. I can show it to y'all. That window right there. Well, I was out there in the woods, and I'm like sitting in there, and I look up, and I see it open, and I can show that to y'all right now.
Wouldn't there be something if there was a face out there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you now, if there's a girl with a face, if there's somebody looking in this window, I'm gonna put myself on screen. Okay. So it opened real slow, like this, and I thought it was her trying to mess with me, just watching me or something.
Yeah.
So I'm out there, and we're kind of vulgar to each other, so I just flip her off, and and laugh about it. And I like look back over there, and I see like the face and like this part, like from here on, of an arm, like this. It was like just like that right there,
Yeah.
looking out at me, and I'm out there, and I thought maybe she was like doing something back, and I couldn't really see. All I could see was like there was an arm and what looked like a face down at the bottom.
Yeah.
So it like closes again because I look away for a minute, and then it's closed again. So I go inside to tell her, I'm like, whatever you were doing in the window, I couldn't tell what you were doing, if you were doing anything. And she's sitting on our couch in here. And she's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I was so confused. I was like, what?
And I was like, you were looking out the window at me. And she's like, no, I wasn't.
Mm-mm.
And so we kind of talked about it, and we're both freaked out. Well, we look up, and the thing that you open the blinds with was swaying.
It was like swaying.
And it wasn't just like going back and forth. It was like it would go, and it would kind of like sporadic.
Yeah, it would like sway, and it would kind of stop, and it would sway, and just like it was hitting something.
But on top of that, if it'll stay connected for me to go out here, I'll show you what's in our yard that I think might be the cause of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've seen this, guys. Wait till you see this. It will blow you away.
So we're like out here. Let me put some shoes on. Okay. So we're out here cleaning our yard, and I don't know if I can even switch the camera around.
Now they live in an old house in
Hopefully it'll stay connected.
in Ozark, Arkansas. So
Yeah.
This is an old town.
yeah.
There's a lot of deceased.
It's an old town.
Okay. So we're out here. Can y'all still like hear us and stuff?
Yep, you're good.
Here's what we find in our yard.
Yeah, they literally have a grave in their yard.
Why the fuck would you live there?
Well, we asked our landlord.
Cheap rent.
Yeah, cheap rent. We asked our landlord about it, and she's like, I didn't know that was on there. Like, she doesn't know anything about it, so we don't know why it's here.
Now, whether that's a full-on grave or just a headstone, it's hard to say, but it very well could be a grave right there.
Yeah.
I've looked up the man's name, and he was like I couldn't tell you right off the top of my head, but he was in the World War II, I believe the Navy. I don't know. I'll just say that he's haunting our house. Thank you for your service, and please do not harm us.
Thank you. You gotta go out there on the headstone and be like, "Thank you, God. Thank you for your service."
Now, back here in Arkansas and in a lot of states, there's just a lot of old houses, and back in the day, it's not like everybody got to go to a funeral home. A lot of people just got buried right out there in their yards, So it is what it is. There's probably a whole lot of unmarked graves that we don't know about, and there's a lot of. We talked about going up to Pea Ridge. That was the big Civil War battle here in Arkansas, and there's supposedly a lot of spirits up there. So we're going to check that out eventually.
Like I said,
that same night that Michael saw whatever it
Whatever it
was in the
was.
window. It was about 10 o'clock. We finally went to bed, and Michael's a really, really heavy sleeper.
Very heavy.
Like I could jump on the bed and scream in his face, and he would wake up. So I don't know. Michael's been asleep for probably like 30, 40 minutes at this point, and something hits the wall like so hard by this guitar that Michael has that like the guitar sounded like it like was being strummed because it was hitting the wall so hard, and it freaked me out. So I was
That
like,
was probably Kevin and Jason out in your yard trying to get you.
Yeah, that's right.
Was it a Friday night?
no, I think it's
We lost him. I'll wait for him to come back. B Knuckle.
No,
Michael, all you do is click that link again.
I think that should be our next shit, though.
Yeah.
Some paranormal. Let's go up somewhere.
Yeah. Well, Kevin,
think,
you're like
Kevin?
me. You're not. I wouldn't say I'm skeptical. I'm open minded, but
sorry.
Yeah, I'm open minded. I just haven't.
Yeah.
I haven't never seen anything or experienced
Yep.
anything. So
Because you ain't hung out with me long enough. So let's go.
yeah.
Now you was calling for some ghosts out there in the yard the other day. I heard you loud and clear then.
Me?
Yeah.
I was calling for the Holy Spirit. So I was calling.
He looked like Jesus
needed
Christ
some
on
relief.
the cross.
Yeah.
He had his arms
Speaking in
spread out,
tongues.
his legs crossed.
Yeah. I was speaking in tongues right then.
Yeah. Now, if you folks have not checked out the Ramsey Boys channel yet, do yourself a favor and get over there and check that out. We put together some videos for their channel the other day, and I think it's some of the finest stuff on YouTube. Now, Michael did the Death Nut Challenge today.
He did. He did a good job, man.
Yeah, he killed that thing today.
He
If you have
killed
not
it.
checked out Clickbait Magician, that's Michael's channel. Clickbait Magician.
Forgive me on some of my stuff.
Yeah.
It's old. I'm different now.
Yeah, he was a pretty angsty teenager, as I remember. So
Yeah, 23. I was a pretty angsty teenager.
yeah. It's all fun. It's all in fun, folks. When you go watch his videos, it's all in fun.
I think we should all get together and go somewhere.
Yeah, I think we need to pick a good spot. You know, with all these old cemeteries.
Yeah.
By you, Jimmy, there's Possum Walk.
Yeah, got
That was
Possum
always
Walk.
the notorious one when I was a kid.
Now, I'll tell you a place. I don't know if we can get to it because I don't know who owns the land anymore, but the old Steel Cemetery, which has the old Arball graveyard in it, that would be a heck of a place to go to because it's in the middle of the woods. And, that's where the old plantation was. So there's a lot of graves that are unmarked there.
We should do it.
Yeah, and because some of those graves date back to the 1700s.
Hell yeah. I'm down. You down, Kevin?
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
So me
Down.
and Kevin will be the skeptical cameraman who get the crap scared out of us eventually, I'm sure.
The one who will single out.
Jason will have to be the Zach Baggins of the bunch. One time I saw a ghost and now I'm doing this show. Bam.
I'll call you again.
Did me and Alex ever tell you about the picture we took by the house?
No.
I
want to see this picture. I always hear about it.
It's on one of my old SD cards. I can't find it, but
yeah.
It was I think my 18th birthday. No. It would have been like my 12th birthday. You bought me that like my first really good camera. I still have it.
Yep.
Well, me and Alex went outside at night. You know how we'd always like kind of sneak out, and Mom would get so mad at us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we kind of snuck out one night, and I was taking like pictures with my new camera because, me and Alex swear it was haunted there because of all the coal mines and stuff that was like around the house.
Yeah.
So, we took a whole bunch of pictures. We saw nothing on the camera. So we're like, we've been out here for like an hour and it's dark and cold. So we just like snuck back inside. So like I hooked the SD card to my camera and like my laptop. And we're like scrolling through the pictures and they're all just like crappy, dusty, just stupid pictures. And then we took one by the plum trees that Jerry had planted by what is now you guys' driveway.
Yeah.
Like the hill was still there, and there's like a bunch of trees. And in the picture, it's someone's face. It looks like a skeleton. I'm not even joking. Coming towards the picture, and their hands like reaching out like this. And it's kind of blurry, but you can see it. And me and Alex were so scared we started crying. And Alex was like, "Delete the picture, because now that we have a soul in the picture, it's gonna haunt us." So I was
Shit,
like,
you know,
okay. So we were freaking out, and I was always too embarrassed to tell you about it. And I have it somewhere on an SD card. One of these
Yeah.
SD cards I have. If I find it,
Kevin,
I'll have to show it to you.
Yeah, I would have just got on to
we
you
should
for being
take them.
outside.
We should take
Huh?
them up to Grandma Agnes's.
Oh,
Yeah, up on the mountain. Yeah.
Up on the, that's way up on the mountain.
Mm.
We should go
Hey.
up there.
We should.
Yeah, I've
We
only been
should.
up there one time, I believe, in my whole life, and that was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should go up there. That's way up there.
That's so
Now,
far
your
back.
old house down in Knoxville, Kevin, used to scare the crap out of me every time I'd stay over there.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it was about that place, but man, I was scared to death.
Did you ever go to the one we had at London, Arkansas?
I don't remember the one in London. I remember y'all was down by Knoxville. We had to cross the train tracks to get over there.
My parents still live there. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But we lived at a place there in London, and everybody said that place was haunted. They were like,
no, we should go up where Agnes is. Yeah, we should go up there.
yeah, we'll go up there.
That's fucking way up the mountain, dude.
We'll do it. Yeah, they said the one there we lived in London, everybody said that place was haunted. They tore that place down. It was up on the top of a hill. And they tore the house down and they removed the hill. It's all gone. Even the hill's gone.
I might have to start an F-bomb jar for Jason. He's going to start hollering it every time he drops one on here.
I'm sorry, damn.
Broke.
Whatever. Everybody here is of age. Ain't no way.
Just whenever you edit our paranormal videos, if we don't do them live, you just have to bleep out all of Jason's F-bombs.
Now, I get the feeling if we get out there and we get into something, there's going to be a whole lot of F-bombs. It'll just be one solid bleep, probably.
I think I'll be good. And I think you guys are going to be the ones that are like, oh my. Bleep, 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 bleep.
Didn't you say that habanero wasn't a challenge at first?
He did.
Shut up, Brittany. Shut up.
He likes to talk smack, don't he?
I think it's going to be good times. It's going to be fun.
Keep talking smack.
Yeah, you know, there's right there in Fort Smith where you're at, Jason. There's a lot of haunted locations there. You know, you got the gallows out there from Judge Parker and all that stuff.
I want to go out to the woods. I want to go out to the deep woods. That's what I think.
Well, right now you can't because you get shot because it's deer season.
I don't know.
I see Jason with his red beard.
I think it's Rudolph or something.
Yeah, they'll see my beard and they'll be like, no, it's too red. Can't shoot him.
Shoot. They'll be like, it's a red-tailed deer. Blam.
My face off.
Yeah. You know how they are back here.
Shoot first, ask questions later.
Yeah, so
No, I think it'll be good. Like if we go up, like way up on the mountain, like Kevin, like I was talking about. Let's go up to Agnes's grave.
Yeah.
That is way the hell up there.
yeah, you could go up around Moon Hole, find some stuff there. I'm sure everybody on the mountain's got a tale to tell. We just got to get around to getting them to talk about it.
Right.
Well, that's the thing. I think it'll be a good video if we all go up there together.
Yeah. You know, everybody lives up in the woods up there on the mountains got something to tell you. They've seen something.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people out there that have seen like something in the woods. Not like a ghost or anything, but unknown creatures.
Yeah. Now I've got a buddy of mine at work, and as soon as I can get him on here, I'm not going to call him out by name because I want to make sure he actually wants to tell me this stuff. But that dude is the biggest Sasquatch Bigfoot believer I've ever seen. He has got some tales. It's not just one; it's a couple times. He says he's had an encounter. So that's going to be fun if I can just get him to even pop on here and talk about it a little bit. I think some of the stuff he'll tell you is pretty convincing, and it's going to blow you away.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Arkansas's got I don't know if you remember the movie. I'm sure Kevin does. When we were kids, Legend of Boggy Creek. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I remember that. I watched that shit.
Yeah, that was the only thing that made Arkansas famous back in the 70s.
Yeah. I drove through there a lot. They're close to where it's at. I always look through the woods, see if I see anything.
Yeah, I mean, and when you get down to that part of the state, you can believe, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're like, oh, yeah, hell, that'd be a whole community of them out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when we drove to Roswell, when you hear the story about Roswell and you're thinking, well, how in the heck could this happen? And, nobody see it, and, just the government shows up and, just a rancher. And how could nobody see it? When you get out there in the middle of the desert, you realize, like, man, you could land an aircraft carrier in the middle of that desert and nobody would see it. There is nothing around there. It's crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just like you believe in aliens, I believe in fucking demons. Oh, shit. Okay.
That's $1.
I believe in effing demons.
Hey, the thing is, like with aliens, is I believe, this is what I believe, and I'll break it down for you how I actually believe. I believe that the universe is so big and so vast that we will never have the answers. And there is a 0% chance in my mind that we're the only thing living in this universe because it is too vast and too big.
Oh, no, it's too big.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool to think we're the smart ones of all of them.
Now, as far as who was flying that UFO that I saw, I believe that was 2 Air Force pilots that were flying that thing. I don't believe it was little green men.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. Like, maybe aliens was taking over my body that day. Or maybe it was demons. I'm not a religious person, but maybe it was something else.
Well, Jason, you know what you need?
Oh man, not again.
Are you tired of being abducted and then probed by those pesky aliens? Well, try Dr. Ojibot's steel-belted lock-fit underwear. The convenient steel band goes around your waist. It locks in place. Simply leave the key at home, and those pesky aliens can't bother you anymore. That's right. You can put an end to the constant probing. Just remember to use the restroom before you go, and you'll be set. That's right. Dr. Ojibot's steel-belted, steel-banded, lock-in-place underwear. Guaranteed to stop the probing. Yeah. Oh, man. Let's get out of here.
Dr. Ojibot, I love 'em.
Dr. Ojibot still belted locked fit underwear only sold at Kmart, not intended for hot challenges.
And I worked too hard on that not to play it twice. So.
Blah, blah, blah. I swear to God.
You need to patent that.
Yeah. I didn't play that to make fun of you, Jason. I just worked too hard on it, not to get that in here a couple times.
Do you want to hear me and Mikey's second UFO story?
You bet.
This one was from what?
Monday.
Yeah, Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's not as fanciful as the the triangle, but we were working at our house, 10 miles east of here.
So I don't fucking know. I don't know. All right, I don't know.
$2.
yeah, $2.
If it was fucking aliens or demons, but that was fucking the worst night of my life. It was horrible. Horrible.
All right. I'm gonna mute him before he owes me like $100.
Right.
All right, you're back.
There goes your revenue.
All right. Let's let Brittany and Michael finish their UFO story here.
No, so we were working on our house, and my mom had came over, and we were about to leave because it was too dark and there's no electric in it. So we were all talking, and like I said, I look up at the sky now, and since we were out there, you could see more sky because it's out of the town that we're in now. I mean, you look up now and you can't see nothing. So I was just like looking around. I could see the Milky Way and everything. I was like, man, I can't wait to move here and actually see stars again. And I look out in the distance south of us, and I see just this little light that was just going, and it went up, and it wasn't blinking.
It was like a stationary light.
Yeah, it was like a stationary light at first, and then it started moving. That's when I noticed it. And I told them, I was like, look at that light up there. I was like, what is that?
And it was like getting bigger, like it was getting closer towards us. Like
yeah, so it because it was like getting brighter and it looked bigger, and then up here, well, then it was like another one flashed and then dimmed out, and this one was like moving and then flashed, dimmed out.
And the other light was blue. The big light was like white.
Yeah, the big light was like a white yellow color. It was more on the white side, I would say. And then as we all noticed it, it just kind of like just took like a turn, like a U-turn, and then dimmed out.
And it just disappeared.
And then it was gone. And my mom was like, that was weird.
It went on for like 2 or 3 minutes, and I was trying to record it on my phone, but it was like, so dark that you couldn't even see it.
Yeah, it wouldn't even show up.
We're gonna have to get us some better cameras, aren't we, for this stuff?
Some high exposure cameras or something.
But it was crazy. It went on for, like I said, like 2 or 3 minutes.
And I would say that it was like one of those Chinese lanterns, because I know that's like a common, people always say, oh, it's a Chinese lantern.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like too sporadic to be a Chinese lantern, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. And people just don't take the time to look up. And if you just spend a couple hours out in the dark, get away from all the lights and let your eyes adjust, you'd be surprised at just all the little weird stuff that you see that you didn't notice before.
Yeah.
Yep.
Faux show.
So we're going to set up a little paranormal investigating team here, and Kevin and I are going to be the skeptical ones.
I'm so pretty.
We'll do the research, right? We'll get in there and go back and listen to all the recording devices.
Jason's going to be the one running through the woods screaming, "It's got me.
Got me by the tail.
Come at me, ghost."
You down? You down?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be fun. Hey, what we're gonna do in the meantime, while we're getting all of our stuff together, is we'll just kind of get together on Thursdays if you guys are down with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll just hang out here, and I'll scour around. And if I can't get folks to come up, we're just gonna find some stories to talk about, or I'll get some people that have told me stories, and if they're willing to let me talk about them up here, we'll do that, and then we'll just kind of discuss them from there. But
Yep.
Sounds good.
looks like we got about 6 folks left hanging out with us, and I appreciate you guys for hanging in there, checking this out. I hope it was fun for everybody. Did you have a good time?
I did.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's good to just tell your tale and get it off your chest sometimes, you know what I mean? So that's all we're really trying to do here. And like I said, I ain't trying to make fun of nobody, because I am not the guy with the answers. I'd be sitting here with egg on my face if I said I had all the answers. I do not. I'm just a guy.
And I've loved this stuff ever since I was a little boy watching the X Files. So I'm all in.
We're gonna work up some new commercials. Dr. OG Bot may start a whole line of stuff. I may have to make some t-shirts, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, all right, guys, it was fun, and appreciate everybody in the chat for hanging out with us. Like we're slowing down, and OG Bot wanted to come up and say hi.
Yeah, I thought I was playing. OGBot is online.
He is a creepy little fella, ain't he? All right, I do not have an outro for this stream. I got to make one of those too. Well, even if I played the thank you one, it'd be thank you for the art and all that stuff. Let's see. Let me dig around here for just a second. Oh yeah, I've got one. This might work. Well, again, guys, appreciate you coming up here, Kevin. Appreciate you hanging out. I know
Hey,
you
thanks
worked
for
all
having me.
day. Yeah. You guys be sure and check out the Ramsey Boys channel. Awesome stuff. And get over there and check out that old clickbait magician. And yeah, I'll tell you this, it's entertaining, to say the least.
It's okay.
It's good stuff. All right. We appreciate everybody in the chat. We love y'all. Thank you for hanging out with us. Y'all take care, and we will see you next Thursday night for another paranormal talk. Later, everybody.